In this video, we'll talk about hardware trust. Firmware is essentially software embedded in a chip, and it's usually for a very specific use, unlike an operating system which can do millions of things. So therefore, there is often much more trust placed in hardware or firmware security solutions. One example of this is the Trusted Platform Module, or TPM. This is a firmware standard built into modern laptops, desktops, and servers. It's part of a chip on the motherboard. Now, TPM can also be built into the firmware in other devices like set-top boxes, smartphones, and even tablets. It's part of the NIST Trusted Computing requirements in special publications 800-147, 155, and 164, which you could search up in your favorite web browser search engine.
Trusted Foundry is an American Department of Defense and National Security Agency program whose purpose is to ensure the trust of integrated circuits that are used in devices that are related to national defense in the United States. The DMEA provides accreditation for these circuit-related products, and this accreditation is crucial to the Trusted Foundry program.
TPM, or Trusted Platform Module, is firmware that can store cryptographic keys. Now, this is used, for instance, by software such as Microsoft BitLocker to store keys that are used for encryption and decryption of entire disk volumes. However, specific solutions like Microsoft BitLocker can also allow keys to be stored on USB thumb drives for non-TPM systems. TPM, when it gets initialized at the firmware level, creates what's called a storage root key, or SRK. Application-based keys are then protected by the storage root key. TPM deals not only with the encryption and decryption of entire disk volumes, but it also can detect boot changes to the boot environment. So therefore, it's considered an effective mitigation against bootkit threats, or master boot record or MBR rootkits, or even the 2011 Membroni attack. Membroni is another form of a bootkit attack. Essentially, it can make changes to BIOS configurations and infect the master boot record. Or, there are also some bootkit threats that can actually flash or wipe the BIOS on a system, making it unusable. Now, with TPM, when it gets configured and when it detects a boot up change, the system will reboot and you'll need to enter a recovery key password to continue, because it's considered suspicious activity. Microsoft BitLocker is disk volume encryption. It doesn't encrypt specific files or folders like Microsoft EFS, which stands for Encrypting File System. It's not tied to the user, and it's designed really to protect data at rest. So when a system boots up and a BitLocker encrypted volume is decrypted, it's business as usual and there's no special protection. So it's designed for not only fixed disks, but also removable media, where Microsoft BitLocker To Go can be configured to encrypt data, for instance, on a USB thumb drive. It can also be configured to require a PIN at startup. Here in the Windows environment, I've started the BitLocker tool where I can see all of my disks, such as drive C, where it states that BitLocker is off. Although I do have the option of turning on BitLocker for drive C, as well as my other fixed data drives. Because I've got a USB thumb drive inserted, I've also got drive G, in my case, listed down here, where it says BitLocker is off, where I can configure BitLocker To Go. And if I were to click on that drive and then click on the Turn On BitLocker link, it goes through a wizard that allows me to secure or encrypt the data on that USB thumb drive. For BitLocker To Go, I can flag whether I want to use a password to unlock the device either on this machine or others, and or the ability to use a smart card to unlock the drive. To configure the behavior of BitLocker on a larger scale, I might use Group Policy, which I've got open here. So what I would do then in the left-hand navigator under Computer Configuration is open up Policies, Administrative Templates, Windows Components, then I would choose BitLocker Drive Encryption. So here I've got options for fixed data drives versus removable data drives, as well as just some general BitLocker drive encryption options. In this video, we talked about hardware trust.